time, he slowly extended the spoon with his foot. The American sniper observed confidently.
Bad trick. I have already seen you.
Then he used a high-caliber sniper rifle he acquired to fire a shot, the bullet instantly knocking out the metal whistle. At the same time, from the other side of the rock, the sound of a gunshot came from Xiao Cheng, and the American sniper legend Lao Men Kai Bloom fell hard. It turns out that the American sniper often saw the volunteer army using the reflection of the iron whistle to observe their position. This time he confidently aimed to shoot down the observation tool of the volunteer army, but didn't expect to be killed by a strategic diversion. The volunteer army's sniper achieved a record of sniping over 500, taking down an American soldier. Especially the squad leader. A squad of American soldiers was suddenly killed by gunfire from a distance of 500 meters. But somehow one was missed, and then they came under machine gun fire. Fortunately, the squad leader timely stepped forward with a gunshot. The bullet swiftly pierced through the machine gunner's forehead. The story of this squad leader is based on the volunteer army's legendary sniper Zhang Taofang. The American giant is their sniper captain, specifically coming to deal with the volunteer army giant. The goal of the American giant in this operation is to capture alive this mythologized volunteer army sniper. He confidently holds a newspaper featuring a photo of the volunteer army giant, indicating his strong determination. To lure the giant onto the road, they injured a volunteer army intelligence officer and then left him in the snow. However, they did not know at that time that this volunteer had important intelligence. They just thought he was an ordinary volunteer army member. The soldiers of Class 5 received orders from their superiors to come for the rescue, but the American troops had already set up a trap, waiting for the Class 5 sniper team to fall into it. As the soldiers of Class 5 were carrying the injured, the squad leader noticed it was a trap. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 3 volunteer soldiers were hit. A peak duel between Chinese and American snipers thus began. The squad leader held the only telescope, observing the enemy's actions and timely alerting everyone to avoid them, which left them disheartened.
Kill him!
Gazing at the fallen companion spewing blood, Meng Zhongge decided to take a risk. Just as Mei Ching was about to grab the first aid kit, he was shot by the American troops. To rescue the 2 team members pinned down by the American sniper, the squad leader ordered them to move quickly upon hearing the command. The US sniper saw the situation and immediately fired but didn't hit. Excited, he stood up intending to chase and fire a second shot, but unexpectedly he had already become the squad leader's target. With a gunshot, the US sniper was directly killed to rescue the scout. They tied iron plates to themselves to avoid bullets, but their opponent was very skillful and directly shot the ropes, hitting both sides' fingers. As the iron plates fell, the plan ultimately failed. As after suffering heavy losses, the armed group decided to make a comeback. By pretending to deepen their trenches to trick the enemy into firing, they successfully eliminated 2 American snipers. Totally enraged, the American military god used a machine gun to seize the opportunity and hit a gasoline barrel during the retreat of 2 support troops, resulting in a huge explosion sound. But 2 support soldiers heroically sacrificed themselves because the enormous gap in weaponry left the commander in a low state.
You go?
Explosive color.
What happened? With a bunch of green.
We just have one location shoot with the enemies. All kinds of locations.
Not me aiming.
The artillery range lacks various useful guns, various telecommunication distance devices, and various instruments.
I'm going home. Going home. A shabby traveler on the road.
Then the squad leader and Xiao Zhan moved to the hillside, determined to make a comeback. The squad leader placed 3 guns in a row, firing 1, and then moving to another hawk. In the end, the 2 worked together. Xiao Chen fired the first shot. When the opposing sniper thought there was only 1 person and was getting ready to pop up and counterattack, he didn't expect the squad leader was already waiting for him. Their perfect cooperation turned the situation around again, but both sides were at a stalemate. The squad leader eventually guessed that their purpose was to capture him alive, so he decided to take a risk. He swaggered over and agreed to exchange himself for the informant. When the volunteers were moving back to the business park, unexpectedly, the US military realized that what the volunteers intended to rescue was not just an ordinary soldier, but rather an intelligence officer who might have very important intelligence. Therefore, they opened fire to stop the moving action. A robust squad leader had no choice but to pull the grenade and charge toward the enemy. In In the end, the squad leader and one of the enemies perished together, leaving only Xiao Chen from Class 5. When the US military was carrying back the volunteer army intelligence officer, on the way back, the handlers were shot one by one, and to their surprise, the giant of the volunteer army was gone. Suddenly, a ghost appeared, a ghost whose skills were inherited from the squad leader. He took over the squad leader's mission and fought the American sniper team to the end. The American commander then began the violent operation, completely unaware that he had already been exposed to Xiao Chen's gunpoint. Xiao Chen immediately dealt with the commander. When the American artillery saw that the commander was gone, finally the American sniper god decided to leave in the tank, letting our squad pay the price for the tank. Of course, Xiao Chen wouldn't let him go, first setting up grenades in advance for the tank. As soon as the tank arrived, the grenades were immediately packed to destroy the tank tracks, then quickly moved to break the tank's glass, turning the tank blind. But Xiao Chen was also hit by machine gun fire. When the American soldiers proudly thought victory was within reach and had checked, Xiao Chen turned around and fired a shot. One of the snipers was also hit, eventually leading to a one-on-one showdown, resulting in the opening scene. The American sniper squad was completely wiped out. Xiao Chen, with the skills inherited from the squad leader, faced the American sniper squad and ultimately retrieved the intelligence.